And we are live here tonight on ETV Live here in Dover, Delaware, getting set for 155 laps of racing in the trucks here. I'll tell you what, this ought to be a pretty good night here. The Monster Mile, 1 mile track, and everybody knows what this place is all about for sure. In the booth with me tonight, Eddie Walczyk joining me, and of course alongside him is Eric Crossan as well. So looking forward to a good night of racing here in Dover. Eddie, welcome to the booth, my friend.
Good to be here, JD. I hope that I don't screw everything up like I did last time with the last race. So I'm kind of excited and nervous and all that kind of stuff. And I'm excited to be here. I don't know any of the drivers' names very well.
Yeah, I copy that. I'll tell you what, we'll get used to it though. But tonight, it's all about these guys, Integrity Racing. The race being sponsored by Pro Powder and Paint, and looking for some good times here. These guys put on a pretty good show. Last week they were in Michigan. Colin Keister taking a trophy and a one-lap shootout at Michigan last week. And I'll tell you, Matthew Wright putting up the good fight, but Brad Patton sitting second behind Michael Duell in the points. Duell finishing a 7th place at Michigan last week. Patton beating him out by a couple of positions here. But I'll tell you what, we'll take it down through the points and let you know who's who and who's where in the Integrity Racing here. Michael Duell still hanging on to the lead up here, 4 points in front of Brad Patton. Andrew Fayesh, he's in 3rd position, a couple of positions down this week. Jacob Five sitting in 4th position. He's down a position this week, 8 points in back of the leader. Andrew is only 6 points in back of Michael Duell. In 5th is Jeff Barger. Jeff is 31 points behind the lead. And I'll tell you what, time's running out for Jeff Barger. We are in the chase here. This is race number 5. So he's really got to put something together for any hopes of getting up to the front. Bruce Koenig sitting 38 behind in 6th position as well. He and Jeff Barger really got to pour the coals on here in the next few races to make it happen. Up a position this week is Daniel Holloway. He's 47 points in back of Michael Duell. Alan Rowell, he's 55 in back, sitting in 8th, down a notch this week. And then Matthew Wright, of course, up 3 positions. That comes from a 2nd place finish at Michigan last week. And he's sitting 76 back from Michael Duell. And in 10th is Jim Fife at 86 back. Brian Harvey, Matt Busa round out your top 12 here in the chase. And at 155 laps here tonight, qualifying session is underway. Right now, Matthew Wright sitting on the pole with a very fast 24.036. Christopher Sheila, who comes in second so far with a 24.077. Sheila putting a pretty good show together last week at Michigan. He started on the pole, and for most part of the race, he was the car to beat last week. But putting up the good fight, I'll tell you, if you missed the Michigan race last week, you really missed a good one. So Dover, the Dover track, Eddie, I don't know if you've ever been here before. This is a 1 mile oval. Got some pretty good banking in the turns here. Turn 2 is the turn you really want to look out for. That's the one that pretty much bites everybody. This track is configured the same on both ends. So, sometimes it's a little bit puzzling as to why turn 2 seems to be the most difficult turn. But we'll keep an eye on that here tonight.
I have spent some time at this track, both real and in the virtual world. This thing's a handful. You've got these, these real wide tall walls up there, and coming up off of corner 2, man, it just lightens that car up a little bit, or the truck in this case, and it's a deadly place to be. When you come around here, the track will just clean you right down to that inside wall, and it's if you lose a handle on the car here, you're usually not going to get it back.
You bet. And as we get set to go racing here, it'll take over the grid here. let's take it to trackside for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
And a big thank you to the Cactus Cuties and the Virtual Thunderbirds. Let's take them down through the grid here, starting out on the pole here tonight. Matthew Wright in that number 13 machine. On the outside of him is Christopher Sheila in the 02. Second row in the number 18, that's Brad Patton on the inside. Outside him, Andrew Fish. Keep an eye on that 77 here tonight. Rob Ackley, he'll be starting the 19 in 5th position. 6 belongs to Jacob 5 in 7th position. Then the 69, that's Bruce Koenig in 9. In the 9 truck, that's Blade Witt. He'll be starting in 8th position. In the 9th position, the 53 belongs to James Hudson. Michael Dewell, he's the leader in the points in the 88 truck, starting 10th. 11th belongs to Patrick Davis. In 12th position in the 83 is Drew Carroll. Daniel Holloway starts in 13th position tonight. In 14th, that belongs to T.J. Thompson. In 15th position, the 35 of Keith Dunn. And the 16 belongs to Michael Gingerella, Jim 5, Peter Bennett, Alan Roll, Chris Freeman, Robert Cook, William Karp, Cody Kunstner, Chad Kirk, Joseph Piscoda, Anthony Yankello, Jeffrey Gingerella, and Thomas Ridgway make up your field here as we get the green flag. And we're off and running here at Dover. Matthew Wright gets out to a pretty good jump on the field here. But I'll tell you what, it'll take a while for these guys to get settled in. We're still 2x2 back here, about 4th position. Andrew Fish at 77. I'll tell you what, keep an eye on that 77 machine here at Dover. He is pretty good here. I've seen him run here before. But already going after the position, he'll move up into 3rd. So already 2 laps in the books here at Dover. 155 on the board. We got a long night ahead of us.
Well, let me tell you what, a long night at Dover is saying something. This here place will run you ragged. Those boys got off a pretty good start. You can always tell the quality of the drivers by how they get a start here at Dover, and they got a pretty full field here. These guys look like they've done this before.
Absolutely. Back here about 9th position, these guys still going after it. James Hudson in the 53 on the bottom here. He's got the 69 up on the top. And I'll tell you what, these guys are really going after it back here. The 69 of Bruce Koenig up there working that top side. The bottom lane is where you want to be here, but you got to be careful coming up off that turn. Outside wall will come up very quick. And like we talked about pre-race, it'll send you right back down towards the inside and get a lick off that inside wall. So you got to be very careful coming off turn 88 of Michael Dewell now alongside the 69 here for position. The Dewell fights to stay on that bottom lane down there. The 69 got it back off the throttle just a little bit here, even with the banking here at Dover. You got to be careful on the throttle as the 69 takes a souvenir off the wall off turn 2.
Well, you got a lot of action going on back there. I got my eyes fixed up there on Matthew Wright, the 13 car. He looks like he's got a pretty stout truck underneath him because he's starting to pull away from the second and third place battle, they're pretty good.
Absolutely. Matthew Wright now separating himself by almost a half a second out of Chris Sheila. Chris Sheila back here in the 0-2 machine. I tell you what, it's still a long night ahead of us, and you know, if I know some of these guys, they're going to put it on cruise control for the most part. Hey, the race isn't going to start till about the last 20 laps or so. But Andrew Fish making quick work of the field. Now, Andrew started in fourth. He's already worked himself up in third, challenging for second place here. The 0-2, Christopher Sheila on the outside, who had a performance run at Michigan, looking for position here. Fish still on the bottom here in the early goings. I tell you what, Fish is on a mission when he goes to a racetrack. That's to get out in front as quick as possible, and he made quick work of the 0-2. That's Christopher Sheila still fighting back up there on the top. And I tell you, Christopher Fish, he does nothing but look out that windshield and keep the pedal to the metal.
Yeah, he is. Fish is coming up through the pack there pretty good. It doesn't look like those guys, you know, they're just kind of holding him up, but that's really working to Matthew Wright's favor. He's putting a little over half a second distance between him and Andrew Fish, and Andrew Fish just made the pass there going into turn 2 there and got the second spot. So he's going to probably set his sights on Matthew Wright here. And as I look back through the rest of the pack here, everyone's kind of stringed out single file. You know, we're still early in this race, coming up on lap 10. There's a lot of racing to do, so these guys here.
Yeah, I copy that, and I'll tell you what, you know, this track, you know, we already talked about it. This thing is kind of unique in a way that it's a 1 mile track. It's a paved track. It's got some pretty good banking to it, but then, you know, when you come off the turns, if you're in that high line, you come off the turns, that wall comes up really, really quick, and you got to keep a lot of left-hand pressure to stay off the wall. When you're on the bottom, the tendency is to jump back in the throttle a little too soon, which sends you right up into the wall. So either lane, you really got to be careful here for sure.
Yeah, this anytime you come to concrete, it seems these concrete tracks lend themselves to you know, real challenging circumstances. And you take a place like Dover here, and oh, we got a caution. We got somebody's in the wall here. We got a spinner coming out of 3. I'm gonna see what the replay is here. We got.
You bet. Just saw a lot of smoke. We cycle through here and try to pick it up to find out who it was here. I'm hearing it's the number 3. Looks like it may be a Spolo spin. It's going to be the 3 of Patrick Davis, who looks like he may have already put his car up on the hauler or has called the tow truck. But the 3 truck, watching him here, takes a pretty good hit off of turn 2 into the wall, goes into turn 3 in pretty good shape. Looks pretty good, but then, you know, here we go. We get back in the throttle just a little bit too soon. Goes off into the inside wall and goes for that double axle down the front stretch here. So I tell you what, the 3 of Patrick Davis in big trouble. He gets that tow truck called, takes him back to pit road here. So hopefully he can get that thing fixed and back out on the track.
Yeah, I don't see him getting that thing fixed. That's the kind of lick that a fella taking the real world end up with a free pass to the infield care center. That and that's one of the tricky things about this track here. When you're coming out of 1 and 2 there, and the car just will lighten up when you come up under the bridge, and then the equally opposite effect when you're coming out of 3 and 4, heading down the front stretch there, you got to be really, depending on how your car is set up, you got to be really hesitant on getting back to that gas. And it looks like he just got back to the gas too soon and put the power down. The truck come around, and there wasn't nothing he could do about it.
Roger that. And I tell you what, you know, Dover, it sneaks up on you here. But it looks like Patrick Davis is already up on the hauler and headed for the barn, like we say here on ETV Live. So a tough night for that 3 team here at Dover. Matthew Wright still out in front with Andrew Fish now running him down. And I'll tell you what, Andrew Fish made pretty good work of Christopher Sheila and Brad Patton up here. Jacob Fife working his way forward. Fife starting in 6th position when we took the green flag here. But first caution of the night here at Dover. 13 laps in the books. We still got plenty more to go here. Yeah,
155 miles here effectively. That is a long race. A lot of pitch strategy. A lot of saw the leaders there make the bow down to pit road like they were going to take tires, and then everyone came back on. And I think we got a couple of folks who went in for tires or adjustments here. I'm trying to figure out who that is, but I can't catch up with them.
These guys, I believe these guys are only allowed 4 pit stops, if I'm not mistaken. So they are on a prescribed strategy, if you want to call it that. They are limited to how many pit stops they can make, which makes the race just a little bit more exciting. So that's probably why we didn't see anybody come down pit road. It's a little bit early to do it now, but with 14 laps in the books. But we are getting ready to go back to racing here, right out in front. He'll pick up the green flag here tonight. The pace car lights are off. We come down the backstretch and look for that 77 to get an early start here. But he's got to wait until the 13 crosses that start-finish line before he. But I tell you what, Andrew Fish is on a mission at any track he goes. He's one of the pro drivers over here. Andrew Fish, a black striper as they call him, and has participated in the DWC in the iRacing service as well. So looking at Andrew Fish, I'm going to keep an eye on him as Wright gets ready to pull it up, and and the green flag is out, and Wright is on the throttle before they even get off turn 2 or turn 4, and Andrew Fish a little bit late on the throttle.
He definitely didn't get the kind of start that he needed to give any kind of challenge there to our leader, and these guys are stretching them out pretty good. They got a nice, good, clean start. I'm very impressed with the way they're handling themselves on the start. I don't know if this is if these guys race a lot together, but it definitely looks like a tight-knit group. It's some pretty good racing here thus far.
Yeah, they race together every week, and I'll tell you what, Andrew Fish finds himself now back to the 36. And you know, if I know Fish, he's going to wait until the tires get a little bit warmed up here a little bit off that pace lap. You know, after the tires get cooled off. So Fish will get those tires warmed up, get the grip back up, get them sticky again, and then he'll go after that 36 machine. But I tell you what, in the meantime, as Fish looks down to the bottom of the 36, going for the position now, I tell you what, those tires must be warmed up good enough. But Michael Duell, who was a hopeful here at Dover, he's in the 88 machine, 6th position back here, working himself forward as well. Duell started in 10th. He's now currently in 6th position. So slowly but surely, Michael Duell picking him off as he works himself to the front here. Single file all the way to the back here, Cowboy, until you get to back about 14th position, 35 of Keith Dunn. Just let a couple of trucks go. That was the 06 of Michael Karp down there on the bottom, as Karp goes past the 17 as Chris Freeman.
The 18 truck up here, Brad Patton, giving Matthew Wright a little bit of what for there. He's letting him know he's behind him. I don't know if he's got the speed to make a pass, but we were shaking this thing out to look like that first 13-lap run, but Brad Patton has chased Michael or Matthew Wright down there, and he's looking like he may want to lead this race. But I'm going to run down our top 10 here quick. We've got Matthew Wright in the 13 truck in first, Brad Patton in second, Jacob Fye in third, Andrew Fish in fourth, Christopher Sheila in fifth, Michael Duell in sixth, Rob Ackley in seventh, Blade Witt in eighth, Drew Carroll in ninth, and James Hudson in 10th. And we got a pass for the lead. Brad Patton getting it done on the inside there of Michael Wright.
You have Matthew Wright giving up position to Brad Patton. Patton in that number 18 machine getting the job done. And I'll tell you what, he was getting it done at Michigan last week too. 3rd place finish, solid run for him at Michigan. Michigan, they had 3 cautions. Of course, the final caution coming out way late in the race. That put them into a 1-lap shootout. And Colin Keister, as we said earlier, picked up the trophy last week. But a lot of racing here happening at Dover International Speedway with Integrity Racing. Of course, the race sponsored by Pro Powder and Paint. This would be a good time for us to step away and take a commercial break. You're watching live, ETV Live, Cowboy. There is no other choice. Don't wander off. We'll be right back.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Travis, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 in the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR iRacing. Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And we are back live here at Dover. A little action happening up here in front. Andrew Fish finally found that gas pedal. He's about ready to put the 36 down one position. He goes after it. The 02 of Christopher Sheila right on his tail. So we got kind of a three-way battle between Sheila, 36 of Jacob Fife, giving a position up to Sheila. That's going to put Andrew Fish out in front, now chasing down these guys up in front. That's Matthew Wright and Brad Patton. Brad Patton taking over the lead here just before we went to commercial. But tell you what, he is building up a little bit of a lead, about 0.3 of a second. But Andrew Fish is on a mission, Cowboy. I tell you what, he will get the job done as he is now being pressured back by the 02. Sheila does not quit. And I'll tell you what, when his gun's empty, he just goes and reloads right after it again. But Jacob Fife back here taking a bit of a relaxing position. Back here in 5th position. Has given up the fight here just for a while. Hey, don't count out that 36 machine. He get right back after the action here pretty soon too.
Yeah, I was just taking a look at Matthew Wright and Rob Patton's lap times here, and Matthew was turning about almost three-quarters of a second faster lap times there in that first green flag run. Right now, Brad Patton's running some mid-4s, and that's what's putting that distance between them. And we still got a lot of laps here. We're coming up on lap 32 here this in about a half lap. So these guys are just out there riding right now. They're leading the race. No reason to pressure each other, and they're probably thinking about what they're going to do for their next pit strategy and make this truck better.
In my travels around from broadcast to broadcast, watching these races, they all seem pretty, a lot the same. These guys usually wait till the last 15, 20 laps before they really start letting it all hang out. They don't show their stuff too early and give up any secrets. But I'll tell you what, these guys here tonight, if you would have been at Michigan with us last week, I mean, it was a fight from the green flag to the checker flag for I think it was 100 laps, if I'm not mistaken there. And I mean, there is absolutely no quit in these guys whatsoever. So I tell you, the night ain't over yet, even though these guys are all in single file lane. Back to about 14th position, Bruce Koenig up on the outside in that 69 machine, trying to put something together here, but gives up the position to the 42. T.J. Thompson moving ahead. He will take that position away from Bruce Koenig. Peter Bennett up here in the 28 machine, chasing everybody down here too. It's pretty much single file all the way back. Not a lot of action going on. A couple of stragglers back here, though. We've got Michael Gingerella, who looks to be having some kind of difficulty here tonight. The 27 machine, 19th position. And then in tow, he has Chris Freeman. Actually, not in tow. Actually, there's quite a bit that separates them. But Chris Freeman back here, all the way back in 17th position, really hasn't moved, or 20th position, I'm sorry. Looking at the wrong number there on my screen. And then, of course, Robert Cook back here in 21st position in the 64 truck. So, and then finally, the last car on the lead lap here is the 06 of William Karp. Not quite sure what's going on with these guys back here, but I'll tell you what, it's still an early night. 35 laps in the books here, 155 on the board. So we got a significant amount of racing here to do.
We just had some three-wide action back here between James Hudson, Chad Kirk, and Peter Bennett. They kind of got slipped up there coming out of 1 and 2, and they got bunched up back on that back straightaway. And there wasn't a whole lot of room for a little bit of a minute, but they decided to work it out, and they got back single file, got through the turns 3 and 4 there pretty good, and James ended up with the spot. So that all worked out for him. But Peter Bennett ended up losing 2 spots there. They're getting a little bit racy back there, about between 10th and 15th. They stretch themselves out here a little bit, but one will catch the other, and they'll leapfrog a little bit. And if you know where to look here, we got some decent racing in some different pockets back here through the field.
You bet. I'll tell you what, some pretty good racing going on here. I'm watching James Hudson here in 10th position, the 53 machine. He's being pressured by the 46. That's Chad Kirk here. Looks like Kirk all but gave him the bumper here just a minute ago. But I don't know if he can bump draft at a track like Dover or not. But I'll tell you what, these guys aren't afraid to try something like that to get a position. A little bit of a battle happening back here, about 12th position. Bennett now getting into the picture with Kirk and Hudson. So kind of a battle happening here, but out in front it's still Matthew Wright Brad Patton. I'm sorry, Matthew Wright is in 3rd position. Brad Patton in the lead with Andrew Fayesh now in 2nd position here. Andrew doing everything he can to try to run down that number 18, about 1.2 seconds back of Brad Patton. So with 40 laps in the books, we should be approaching some green flag pit stops here momentarily. Remember, there are only 155 laps on the board here tonight, and they are limited to the number of pit stops that they can take. So we should be seeing some green flag pit stops here pretty soon.
Well, you called that one pretty early on here, Cowboy. Andrew Fayesh definitely found his way towards the front. I mean, he got a good starting spot and was up the front there, but kind of botched that green flag when we went back green here, and he has definitely worked himself back up there, and he's within a little bit over a second from Brad Patton, and I expect we're going to see something from him here before too long, because he is closing in on him. I'm excited to see some of these green flag pit stops. It'll probably give us some interesting action here, especially at a track like this here at Dover. This is a tight little place, and to answer your question about the whole bump drafting thing, you know, at a track like this, you go to do any bump draft, and you're allowed to leave here with a screwdriver at your forehead. These tempers flare here at these short tracks, and people just don't take it the right way.
Absolutely. Hey, we're going to take a look back from Brad Patton's number 18 machine out there in front. Looking back at the 77 of Andrew Fayesh. Still trying to put it together here, closing the distance just a little bit. Now got it down to about 1.1 seconds. So Fayesh is coming. It'll take them a while to get up there. These guys are running pretty similar lap times. 25:192 for Fayesh last time by to Patton's 21:168. Or 25:168. So it'll be just a matter of time, and we'll see the 77 and 18 do battle here. But don't think that may come before green flag pit stops here. 44 laps in the books, certainly looking for that. But let's take you back down through the lineup here a little bit. Let's start out in 10th position. Peter Bennett back here in the 28 machine, trying to put something together. He started in 18th position, has worked himself up into 10th position. That's a good place to be. T.J. Thompson, he's in 11th position. He's driving that number 42 machine here tonight at Dover. James Hudson. Now these three guys, Thompson, Hudson, and Chad Kirk, were duking it out here pretty significantly here just a short while ago. Kirk back here in 13th in the 46 machine, and then here comes Cody Kunstner in the 91. So and Bruce Koenig, who started out in the front in 7th position, has now fallen to 15th. So got to think that the handling's going away on that number 69 machine as we put 47 laps in the books here at Dover.
Yeah, I was looking at some of the racing we got going on here, and towards the back of the fact, and we've got some Dover dings on some of these trucks here. I'm riding along with Jim Fry in the 63 truck, and that left rear corner, his bumper, looks like somebody might have put the old put the moves on him, because he's twisted up there. He's probably going to have to take some damage repair when we come up for these pit stops. And you can tell by the handling of his truck here, it's a little bit off. It looks the truck's got a pretty bad push. He's just letting these guys go by, trying to hold on to one of the last cars here on the lead lap.
Dover ding. I'm gonna have to put that one in the notes, in the ETV Live notes here. Dover ding. That probably come off of turn 2 if I should take a wild guess. We've seen that happen a couple of times here tonight. Kind of a battle brewing up back here, about let's say 15th position. Bruce Koenig he's staying with these guys up here, and that's going to be Kunstner out in front in the 91 and the 46. I don't think these guys are done yet, as we see the 46 take a little tiny piece of the wall off there and leave some paint. But I don't think these Cowboys are done battling here in the back. The guys up in front, for the meantime, it's just follow the leader for now. And Patton and Fish have opened up a pretty good lead over the rest of the pack. Christopher Sheila staying right with the 77 machine, but Matthew Wright kind of falling off, about 2.5 seconds in back of the leaders here. So we should be looking for pit stops here coming just shortly.
Yeah, we're Andrew Fish and Brad Patton. They're coming up on this on that tail end pack there with Chris Freeman and Jim Fye. And it's about to get interesting here. Those guys are kind of battling for position. Alan Roll, the 94, Jim Fye, the 63, and Chris Freeman. And we got the leaders coming up on them. I wonder if they're gonna catch them before we end up going to green flag pit stops or not. This should shake out and be interesting here in a minute.
Absolutely. With 52 laps in the books here at Dover Speedway. This is always my one of my favorite tracks. I always loved running here. I was usually pretty good, but it's been a while. Never done it in the trucks. Of course, if you live in my household, trucks were meant for one thing and one thing only, and that was hauling hay. And well, we won't talk about the other thing. But at any rate, these guys do a pretty good job in the trucks. That's what they race here in Integrity Racing League. And I tell you, last week, the trucks don't quite get the speed that the cars do. They come, they almost come close. But I tell you, at Michigan last week, I really thought that I was going to see something quite a bit different than what I did see. But I tell you, that was one of the best races that I saw in a long time. I mean, you talk about duking it out. These Cowboys jump in these trucks and haul ass, and that race at Michigan was nothing less than exciting, from green flag to checkered flag all night. And of course, it did come down to that one-lap shootout. But tonight here at Dover, things are kind of quiet here on the track. Patton's still out in front, leading everybody to the green flag pit stops that should be coming here pretty soon. Let's take a check on Chris Freeman, 23rd position, all the way in the back. He's the last car on the lead lap, and he's running a risk of going a lap down if he doesn't find some speed in that number 17 machine of his. So Chris Freeman in that 17 truck trying to put something together and stay out of the way of the leaders because they'll be coming around to him here just momentarily.
Yeah, we got Brad Patton in Save the Tatas truck. He just put Chris Freeman and what looked to be Robert Cook in the 64 truck a lap down. So those guys, they're not even going to be able to stay out and try to get a wave around because we're at the tail end of a fuel run there. So that may ruin their night. And JD, I know you live out there in the left coast and all, but where I come from, trucks are for hauling butt, son, and these guys are hauling the mail.
There you go. I'll tell you what, guys doing a pretty good job, as looks like Andrew Fish trying to close the distance on Brad Patton up here by about 0.2. Fish can find some speed where others cannot. I watched this guy race numerous times, and I'll tell you, he can find things, to put together where a lot of people can't, and he is just something else to watch. But still trying to close the distance. He's a little bit closer than he was here a few laps ago, but still about a second off of Brad Patton up there. But we should be seeing green flag pit stops coming here pretty soon, I would think.
Yeah, I just ran through the scanner. This lap traffic is definitely helping Andrew Fish, and Brad Patton is. I'm pretty sure I got the scanner going here on the driver frequencies, and I think that Brad Patton just signaled he's going to be pitting next time by. We're going to be coming up here on green flags pit stops this lap or next lap here. Yeah, we've got the 18 truck here, Brad Patton. I think he's slowing down. Yeah, we're going to be seeing some green flag pit stops.
and we should see our leaders heading down pit road here just momentarily. Patton still out there on the track, however, has not come down pit road. Waiting for him to throw the arm out the window, and that'll be the signal for that 18 machine to come down pit road. But in the meantime, we're keeping an eye on pit road there on the screen, and side by side here on ETV Live. Of course, nobody does it better than ETV Live, and still keeping an eye on the 18 machine.
Yeah, they said they said they were pitting. I'm not sure. I don't know if we got some strategy going on here, but that definitely worked. Andrew Fayesh has pulled in to within 3/4 of a second of Brad Patton, and that could hurt him on pit road depending on what the strategy is. These guys are still just biding their time, and we're coming up here on lap 62, 63. Just a little past halfway. And there's a lot of racing here left to do. It looks like everyone's just kind of minding their business and turning laps and waiting for a little bit later in the race when they can execute some strategy.
Like I said, limited pit stop here at these races with Integrity Racing. They may be limited to 2 stops here at Dover here tonight. So, I wouldn't be surprised these guys trying to stretch it at the max here. I was looking for that 36 machine. Jacob Fife looked like he might have been signaling to come down pit road, but apparently did not. He's still out there on the track too. But green flag pit stops are imminent. So we're going to, rather than go to commercial break, we're going to stay right here with it and keep an eye on the situation here. Now, let's talk about pit road here for a minute. To make that transition from a high bank track like Dover onto the flat surface of the track here. Now, that surface is asphalt, not concrete. So you've got a pretty huge change of track surface making that transition. And when you do, you got to roll that pony up pretty quick, because the approach to pit road off of turn 4 is really, really short and very, very very tight radius to roll that pony up before you hit that commit line. So look for spin off of the transition right before you get to commit road here if anything happens, and we'll keep our eye on that. But Brad Patton, our leader, still out on the track. Andrew Fayesh has now closed the distance. He's broken that 1 second mark. He's now sitting about 8/10, almost 9/10 off of Patton up here. But Sheila has not closed the distance. Sheila's still sitting back there about a 1.4 seconds. Now he and Matthew Wright were fairly close. Wright has dropped significantly off as well, falling to almost a 4.5 second deficit from Brad Patton up there in the front.
Yeah, speaking of the pit road, we've got a 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, and those guys are out there on the track doing about $150, $157, depending on who it is. And it's downright treacherous coming off that concrete banking and onto that paved surface there. And you've got a real short section of where you got to get the vehicle slowed up. But the challenge is you're turning the whole time. So if you know anything about driving in the winter on slippery conditions, when the wheels are turned in any direction and you're going to apply any kind of hard brake, and it doesn't usually work out real well, you end up sliding in a direction that you don't want to go. So that's definitely going to be a challenge, and we can't go many more laps here. I'm trying to recall some fuel mileage stuff. We got some two wide racing back there with the lap guys coming through back third, fourth, and fifth position. Then I got to pull up my relative to see who that is back there.
That's going to be Michael Duell back here in the 88 machine. The 53 of James Hudson out there in front. They're going by lap traffic. That's the 63 of Jim Fife. As Fife's got a little bit of damage on the left rear of his machine. So just kind of working around a couple of obstacles out here. But the 88 of Michael Duell looking for a pit stop here as well. So we're still keeping an eye on the leaders up here. They pretty much set the pace, so when you see them break off and come down pit road, usually that's a pretty good signal that everybody else is going to follow suit within a lap or so. You do not want to pit out of sequence with the leaders if you want to hope for a trophy here at the end of the night. You pretty much got to stay on sequence with whatever the leaders do. Don't let them get out too far ahead of you, especially when you're at a short track like Dover. It only takes these guys about 24 some odd seconds to get around.
Yeah, we had a little action back there when they were making their way up around these lap cars. We had the 4 car of Alan Roll. He ended up getting him a big Dover ding. We got our leaders pitting. Everyone's. I'm not sure if the leaders. We got Michael Dool. We got some of these back fellas that are hitting the pits here. So they're trying some pit strategy for sure.
Matthew Wright in the 13 making his way down. He was running up there in the top 5. As we've got a wreck on the track here. Caution is going to come out here at Dover for the second time, and it looks like it's going to be Bruce Koenig may be involved in this. Going to roll it back here and take a look and see what happened. Koenig definitely involved. The 69 machine just gets wicked loose. Might have come from contact, and it does. The 88 contact with the 88 here off of, I believe this is going to be turn 3. The 69 goes for an e-ticket ride and collects the 91 of Cody Kunstner.
Yeah, that was ugly. That took out some good trucks there. It looks just like man, he just come down into him. Michael Dool didn't look like he was doing anything wrong there. Watching the replay here, Bruce just. Well, no, I take that back. If I watched the replay there, he definitely got loose up underneath him and then just collected all those trucks.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, it couldn't have come at a worse time. I believe we had a couple of trucks sitting on pit road. Matthew Wright was one of those trucks that was up there in the lead. I don't think...
He's a lap down right now. Matthew, they're showing him a lap down now, but I'm not sure how that'll work. He may get a wave around, depending on that works. When everyone depends on who pits, he may end up with a wave around out of this deal.
Yeah, it'll certainly be to his advantage, but he did get stuck on pit road when the caution out, and you really don't want to be there when that happens. But pretty much all our leaders, everybody's down pit road this time by. 75 laps in the books. It's going to be 4 new shoes and a bucket of oats for everybody here at Dover. That's a good time for us to step away. Let's refresh our cold ones here. You're watching live, ETV Live. We're at Dover Speedway here tonight with Integrity Racing, so don't wander off. There's a lot more races coming your way. We'll be right back.
Join 5,000 plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV Live, sports radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.
And I'll tell you what, if Matthew Wright has a dog, he better name it Lucky, because that's just what happened to Matthew Wright. Matthew Wright gets the wave around here after being on pit road when the caution came out, and that's usually, you don't want to be on pit road when that happens for sure. But Wright will regroup here at the tail end of the longest line here on the restart, and give him an opportunity to work back towards the front. Brad Patton will be picking up the flag here on the restart with Andrew Fish on the outside. Here we go again, Cowboy. Blade Witt in the back in the number 9 machine on the second row with Jacob Fife on the outside as the green flag flies, and we're off and running. Patton on the throttle immediately, but Jacob Fife trying to put something together, missed it. Andrew Fish alongside on the outside takes position, now running down Blade Witt in that number 9 machine. So Fish on a mission here. He's not going to let Patton get out front by too far here, I don't think, on this run.
Well, you got to give Brad Patton credit there. If anybody, if he was doing a Jimmy Johnson impersonation, he did a hell of a job. He came out of the hole there like a rocket, but it didn't take long because we got a challenge for a lead up here too wide. They're making it interesting, and I think we're going to get the third place guy to sneak by underneath Brad Patton as well.
4 new shoes in the bucket oats, the 9 on the bottom of the 18. This is for the lead here. The 77 follows him through. Blade Witt now assumes the lead from the Brad Patton machine here up here. And I'll tell you what, these guys are not done yet. Andrew Fish now on the bottom here, going after 9 machine of Blade Witt. Fish to the lead here tonight for the first time at Dover. Andrew Fish out in front of Brad Patton. Jacob Fife doing what he's got to do in that 36 machine to try to bring his truck along for the ride as well. Christopher Sheila in the 02 in 5th, watching all that happen out in front, trying to put something together. Get in the throttle here, Cowboy. Brad Patton now looking for position over Jacob Fife on the outside. The number 3 position here, side by side down the front stretch we go into turn 1. The 36 up on the top side here. Fife looking for position, can't hang on to it, and it looks like Brad Patton will prevail on the bottom and bring Sheila with him.
Man, I got to tell you what, Jacob Fife doing a hell of a job. It looks like that caution didn't hurt the handling of his truck. I mean, I know they're getting by underneath him, but he looks to be racy as ever. And that caution, he was involved with that thing slightly. It didn't appear to hurt his truck at all. We got Peter Bennett cutting underneath him, getting by, and he's going to bring Chad Kirk with him. Nope. Jacob Fife, he's running that middle groove there. These guys are just freight training him. Maybe I spoke too soon, and he does have some handling issues with that truck because these guys are just able to hold that lower line and cutting under him. And we've got Chad Kirk in the 46 truck making the pass here, going to be taking over the 6th place spot from Jacob Fife. And here comes TJ Thompson. He's making the same move. We got Jacob Fife, getting him a Dover ding on the outside there and sliding up against that wall, try to stay off these guys, but he is racing fast to the back here, and he's going to have to figure something out, or he's going to end up back there fighting for his life again.
As TJ Thompson drifts to the back in the 42 machine, along goes the 19 machine of Rob Ackley. He makes it pass. He's going to get up here and mix it up with the 36 as well. I tell you what, these boys really duking it out here back in the back to 53 of James Hudson in 10th position here on the bottom. He's got TJ up on the top. TJ having some issues going backwards here as the 69 machine of Bruce Coney comes alongside. I'll tell you what, these guys are just getting with it here. It's 85 laps in the books here. Now this is a 155 lap race, so we still got plenty of racing to do. It ain't over yet, Cowboy. Michael Duell back here in the back in the 13 machine. Michael Duell is usually one you see up in front all night long. It's a little unusual to see that 88 buried back here in the back, running 13th position. But I'll tell you what, he's driving, he's doing what he's got to do to put that 88 where it needs to be. Right now, he's got to chase down TJ Thompson up here on the outside. He's going to get that position, so move Michael Duell up one notch here at Dover.
We've got Brad Patton making a pass for 2nd place, cutting underneath Blade Witt, and of course, who do we have back out in the lead? We got Andrew Fife. He made short work of that. He's out there distancing himself, but Brad Patton's going to follow right in behind and chase him down. And we've got Blade Witt and Christopher Sheila doing their thing, trying to set up who's going to run third and fourth here, and Peter Bennett's just watching all this here as he's got a mirror full of Chad Kirk. We got a little bit of racing going on here for each one of these positions, and you can tell that we've kind of turned the halfway point. But these guys are not giving up these positions as early as they had in the first 70 or 80 laps.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, Brad Patton is on a mission, and I'll tell you why. He's the leader in the rookie points here, the Buck Hooker Rookie of the Year award. Brad Patton leads James Hudson about 20 points out, so Patton looking to hang on to that. It's Hudson in third, Kutzner in third, or Hudson in second rather, Kutzner in third, Freeman in fourth as far as the Buck Hooker Rookie of the Year award goes. Andrew Fair sits in the fifth spot, but he's not running for the rookie points. Lambert, Sheila, Chandler, Stoll, and Wright make up your top 10 here for the Buck Kicker Rookie of the Year award with Integrity Racing. So Brad Patton certainly on a mission here, pretty much at every track throughout their Chase series here at Integrity. But I tell you what, these guys, it's no surprise. These guys always put on a fantastic show here every Saturday night here on ETV Live. We're broadcasting the Chase races for them this season. And I tell you what, it's been some exciting stuff here all season, all during their Chase season here.
And these guys, that you can definitely tell that they got some experience at this, and they put on a pretty good show. The way that they seem to know each other, I would. This is definitely a league that I would investigate if I was looking to get into iRacing on the league side of things. I've watched a few league races here that I kind of scratched my head, walked away, and said, I'm not sure if they operate in the manner that I would like to run with. But these guys here definitely look like a league that I'd like to do some racing with if I wasn't spending so much time down the short tracks.
You bet. I'll tell you what, with about 60, let's call it 63 laps in the books here at Dover, it doesn't seem like a lot, but this track is only a mile long. So, and they get right around this track. About 25 seconds or so is all it takes them. Let's take a look at Andrew Fish out there in front in the 77 machine. He's turning 25.095 laps. That's pretty darn fast for a race lap. Patton, who sits in second, he's coming in at 25.052. So he'd be able to stay right there with the 77. Chris Sheila also in that mix with a 25.054. So all three of these guys running very close times with each other. So we're going to go on board with the 77 here and see what Andrew Fish sees out the front windshield. Nothing but track.
Boy, we had a nice little pass for second place there by Christopher Sheila. He made his way around Brad Patton, and just like last time, it seemed 15-20 laps into the run, Brad Patton's car kind of went away a little bit, and then it seemed to pick back up. So we're curious to see what he does with Christopher Sheila now that he's in third place there, riding behind him.
You bet, and these things are so critical. When you have a tire change and you take a full load of fuel, things change. Your car handling changes significantly from when you run the fuel out and you start running out of tires. So that's something you really got to get used to. Now we've seen a lot of these guys. Some of these guys, started in the back and worked their way forward. William Karp back here in the 06 machine in 14th position. He started back here in 22nd position. He's quite a ways off the leaders up here, but working himself forward here as the night goes on. Michael Duell in the 88 machine in 13th position. Now he started in 10th, but he's drifting backwards. Unusual to see that 88 machine do that at any given track. Last car on the lead lap is going to be Keith Dunn in that 35 truck, and then Cody Kunstner is your first car lap down. Now if the caution comes out again, Kunstner will pick up the dog. Matthew Wright got 1 or 2 laps back, so he's back on the he's got 1 lap he's got a 1 lap deficit also, but Cody Kunstner is dead ahead. Wright is going to have to overtake Kunstner to have hopes of getting back that lap after that mistake he made coming. Well, actually, it wasn't a mistake. I mean, the caution flew after he was on pit road. He had no idea but certainly you don't want to be caught on pit road when a caution flies.
No, you should don't. And man, you can throw a blanket over here. The second through third, fourth place here. Christopher Sheila, Brad Patton, and Blade Witt. They are mixing it up here, and you got Peter Bennett sitting there in the catbird seat. If these guys make a mistake, he's going to end up getting him a top 2 spot there. But they're dicing up, and they're getting pretty racy here. I think that they realize we're nearing the end of this thing. We've got 54, 55 laps here to go, and they're definitely not giving up the positions as easily as they had before. They're definitely not just happy to ride around. These guys, and you can tell just by the moves that they're making and the way they're protecting that bottom here, they were riding pretty free the first 50, 80 laps. These guys are definitely going to look to turn the wicks up here in a little while.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, I don't know whether we're going to have one more stop for these guys, or whether they're going to try to make it all the way to the end here. Of course, we saw them earlier, pretty much string it out there, but we'll keep an eye on that situation. But for right now, Fayesh has got it out front. Everybody else behind him wants it pretty bad. Let's talk about some of the guys we really haven't spent a whole lot of time with. Rob Ackley in the 19 machine. He's back here in 9th position. Ackley started up in front. In fact, he was a top 5 starter here at Dover. Now he's drifted backwards, sitting back here in 9th, still inside the top 10. But I tell you what, got to get with it if you hope to pick up a trophy here from Dover here tonight, and at least finish on the top 5 where he started.
Yeah, we got trouble up here. Brad Patton, he tagged the wall a little bit, and the handling's way off of his car. He's falling all the way back. We got Blade Witt and Peter Bennett putting him a position down. He's moved himself all the way back to 5th. It didn't look like he hit it, but he hit it enough that it definitely upset the handling on the car. And I'm not sure if he's just gathering himself back up, or if might have knocked the toe out of the car, and he's just going to have handling problems here. But they got awful racy there for a little bit, and he was trying to protect that spot. He got a little loose and just kind of tagged the wall.
And usually what happens, Blade Witt drifting back to about 6th position now after a huge challenge up there in front. A little bit of action up in front of him. It looks like Brad Patton, and I want to say that was the 46 machine of Chad Kirk, just having a little bit of a moment. Might have been 28 of Peter Bennett as well. 28 on the bottom here, challenging the 18 on the top. So here comes Peter Bennett looking to get back in position here. Gain one more for the 28 truck here, as Patton, looks like he might be having a little bit of trouble here tonight.
Yeah, Peter Bennett, he was sitting back there in 5th or 6th there for a while ago when we were talking about him being in the catbird seat, and look what happened. He leapfrogged all of those guys. They raced hard and kind of got out of sorts a little bit, and now he's in the 2nd spot.
You know, and that's sometimes what it takes here to track like Dover. I mean, it's a lot of this is follow the leader until somebody up in front of you makes a mistake, and then that's when you get after them. But this is a tough track to race at. It's big, it's wide, and it looks like it would be a lot of fun here. But this is actually what I would call a work. Oh, and Patton gets out of shape. He goes around. Caution coming out here for the 3rd time at Dover. Wow, I just saw that out of the corner of my eye. Patton goes around up here in front of Sheila, and it looks like he might have gotten loose coming off the turn. Gets tagged by the 02 of Christopher Sheila. Let's back it up and see what happens. They come off of turn 4, actually, coming down the front stretch right in front of the flag stand, and Patton gets a little sideways. The 02 gets into him, and around they go.
Yeah, that took out 3 of our top 5 trucks there. These guys got some pretty heavy damage. The 02 had nowhere to go. We were just talking about Peter Bennett. He was back there in 5th or 6th place there a while ago, and I kind of called it when he was, kind of in the catbird seat. And if he'd have been back there where he was, those guys were racing hard, and that racing hard just gave him enough of an edge to get around. He would have been caught up in that there for sure. Now he's sitting there in a good 2nd place spot with undamaged truck, and all the fast trucks that were behind him, they've now got damaged. So this is going to change up the makeup of our top 5 for sure.
And just like I stated before, the race started here in pre-race. I mean, turn 2 has always been the culprit here for whatever reason. Now it's the same configuration on both ends of the track. What's so different about it? Only the driver knows if you've got experience. But he comes off of turn 2, gets a little sideways, can't get it back. The O2 is right on his bumper, and of course Patton's got to jump off the throttle, whoa that pony up. The O2 comes in behind. And pretty much the story is written from there. But that's going to set us up for caution number 3. That'll bring everybody down pit road as well. Andrew Fish included was sitting in his pit box as the right side of the truck goes up. It'll be 4 tires for that 77 for sure. Why risk a 2-tire change with less than 50 laps to go here at Dover? So Fish down and out. He will be the first one off of pit road here. So the action continues. Let's go ahead and step away. Take another commercial. Dude, you're watching it live, man. ETV Live. There is no other choice. So grab a cold one and come on back. Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. And we are back live here with pit stops completed here with the third caution of the night. And I'll tell you what, that happened up in front with Brad Patton just getting loose off the turn. The O2 having nowhere to go, right on the bumper. And you saw the aftermath of that. But Andrew Fish back out in front. He'll pick up the green flag here for the first time at Dover tonight with Michael Dool in the 88 on the outside. Look who's on the front row, cowboy. The 28 of Peter Bennett. He's right behind on the second row. The green flag comes out. Andrew Fish is down and out and away here at Dover for the first time. His first green flag here of the night.
Yep, that was a pretty exciting little restart there. Peter Bennett had his hand full apparently, and he put the fear of God in the 9 truck there, and those guys got a little bunched out and allow Andrew Fish to get him a good. He jumped out there with a pretty good lead. But our top 5 there, man, it looks like it looks like they went through American Idol, because we got a whole new cast up there up front, except for our leader Andrew Fish.
Absolutely. I tell you what, that 9 truck, Blade Whit, back here in 4th position, very strong after that last caution back on lap 72 on the restart. Just couldn't put it together for this one as he gives up another position. That's going to be Brad Patton out there in front. Remember, he was involved in that wreck here this last caution. Now, these guys also get a reset here at Integrity Racing. And I believe they get one shot at getting that reset. So this may have been the one that Patton was looking for. Patton trying to hang on to a points lead in the Rookie of the Year, Butt Kicker Rookie of the Year points, and he is in the lead there. He's also sitting third in the overall, or the second in the overall points. So he's about 4 points in back of Michael Duell, who is your points leader here at Integrity. But tonight it's all about that 77 between Andrew Fish, who has already, within about 4 laps, has opened up almost a 1 second lead over Peter Bennett, and Brad Patton sitting back here almost a second, about almost a second and a half off.
Yeah, he's just checking out, but I'm paying attention. We got Michael Duell who started up front there, and he did just like he did last time, and he just felt like a rock in the pond, man. It just him starting up front. I'm not sure if he's trying to gain some positions or what, but it just isn't working out for him, and he'll end up cycling back. Looks like he's going to probably catch his breath back there around 7th or 8th place here, but it definitely makes it for some interesting getting by him on the inside, and those guys, he's getting loose coming up off the corner. I thought for sure we were going to see a caution here before it went too long, but he seems to have a handle on it now, and we just, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say about that.
I'll tell you what, the 36 getting a position over the 88. I'll tell you what, almost a traffic jam up there in front of Jacob Fife in the 36 machine. He's back here in 8th position, but was probably wondering how he's going to get around. A lot of these guys, 42 TJ Thompson up here, they were side by side with Christopher Sheila here just a couple of minutes ago, but so it ain't over yet. The 13 Matthew Wright has finally worked himself back to the lead lap, took the wave around that last time by, and is now on the lead lap. He's going by the 53 machine here right now, and that's going to be James Hudson up there on the top of the track. So not really where you need to be. You need to be down there on the bottom. The 83 comes along. That's going to be Drew Carroll in 12th position. He'll take that position away from the 53. James Hudson. Now the 06 coming by Hudson on the bottom. That's William Karp, finally making his way to the front here. So William Karp putting it together here last part of the race, and hopeful for at least a top 10 finish here to put the pressure on here with 121 laps in the books.
Yeah, we've got Matthew. I was looking at Matthew Wright when you had mentioned him, and I was going to see if he had how his truck was handling, and clearly he's got a fast truck. He's running 24.9s after that pit stop there. It's really a shame that his track position is such that it's got him out of the fight for the lead. I know he's in 10th spot there and working his way forward. He's probably going to pick up a couple of spots here at least if we stay green the rest of the way. But I think if this went differently and he was, he's trying to negotiate his way right now around Michael Duell. I think if this went differently, we'd have us a challenger for that lead up there, because he's running a little bit better times than what Andrew Fish is, and that's just a shame that his luck went that way.
Matthew Wright sits in 9th points at 76 in back of Michael Duell up there, but tell you what, he moved up 3 positions after that Michigan finish, finishing 2nd. So Matthew Wright certainly knows how to get the job done. So we'll keep an eye on the 13 machine here at Dover tonight. He's got quite a bit of traffic to have to work through before he can get there. But I'll tell you what, Andrew Fish still out in front, 0.8 of a second lead over Peter Bennett. Now let's take a check back to the pack here. Jim Fife in the 63 machine, down 1 lap here in 20th position. He will be the first car on the lead lap. In fact, on 1 lap down, and he's the only truck 1 lap down. Chris Freeman is the last car on the lead lap in 19th position, a 17 truck, but he's way off pace from these leaders up here. Almost 11. Let's call it 12 seconds in back of Andrew Fish up there in front. But I tell you what, the night belongs to the leaders up here, at least the top 5, if nothing else. You can throw Christopher Sheila in there too. The 02 has been a powerhouse here at Dover all night long.
Yeah, and he's working his way masterfully up through that pack. He caught the tail end of those guys there, and it'll be interesting to see what he does with them now that he caught him. You know, one of the things that you got to worry about in this business here, just because you catch somebody, then what are you going to do with them? So I'll be interested to see what he makes of this work.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, action's starting to pick up here a little bit. Let's go back about 7th position. TJ Thompson, he's got some competition out in front of him as these guys start working up close to one another. That's the 02 of Christopher Sheila up there, taking a peek on the inside of the 28, Peter Bennett, and it's going to be it's going to give him a good shot here. They come off of turn 4 down the front stretch of 28 up on the top side here. The 02 on the bottom, right where he needs to be. Get right down close to the apron line and help that truck make that turn. 28 machine's got to get off the throttle a little bit early. Remember, that outside wall comes up really quick, especially if you're in that top lane up there coming off. So as Peter Bennett gives up a position to TJ Thompson as well. Thompson putting it together finally. He's going to get his machine up in the top 10 here as well.
Yeah, definitely. Christopher Sheila pulled TJ Thompson around the fisherman there, Peter Bennett, and Peter Bennett just looks like he's got his handful with that truck. It definitely doesn't look like it was running before. He's having all he can do just to keep a hand on that truck. Those guys look, TJ Thompson and Christopher Sheila, they look to have themselves some pretty good speed there, and they're making their way for those that pack of 3 there that are running our 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place, Brad Patton, Blade Witt, and Rob Ackley. I think they might have something for those guys here before this thing is done, if they keep up the way they are. We're at 1:30. We've got 25 laps to go. I mean, we've got a shootout here, and I think they might be able to catch them and do something with them if this thing stays green.
Absolutely, and I'll tell you what, these guys are pretty used to doing some green flag racing here at Integrity Racing. You got to check these guys out at integrityracing.com and come over here and race with these guys. They do put a pretty good show together here. But tonight it's all about Dover Speedway 1 mile track. This is always a very tough track for a lot of people. I don't care if you're in the trucks or the cars, but these guys certainly putting it together, putting on a good show here tonight. Andrew Fish, who struggled early in the race, about the first half of the race, started in 4th position and was really duking it out with the likes of Brad Patton. Christopher Sheila has been up there, even 36 of Jacob 5 for the most part. First pit stop came along, and I think his crew chief must have had a little chat with him, but it looks like Andrew Fish has finally put it together with a 1.1 second lead over Brad Patton, who was really looking strong in the get-go. Remember, he led a good number of laps here in the early part of the race. So playing catch-up, trying to get to the bumper of the 77 to finish this thing off. But I'll tell you what, as we go around, the 18 almost getting loose off of turn 4, almost breaking loose there. That was a moment. But I'll tell you what, these guys certainly racing our hearts out, and we're on the short side of the stick, so they need to put the hustle on.
Yeah, we're definitely we're on the short side of the stick for sure. I haven't heard that one before, but I like that. I'm gonna put that in a notebook. I'll give you credit for the first time, but after that, I'm gonna own that one. But we got 20 laps here to go. These guys are they're gonna have to do something now if they're gonna do anything. And well, look at that. Christopher Sheila caught that the top 3 pack there, and I bet you we're gonna get some of our best racing tonight right there, because he is a man on a mission. He's just been driving up through the field, and those 3 trucks there are doing all they can do to hold on for that top 3 spot.
Blade Witt just going past the 19 of Rob Ackley. So move Blade. That was actually Brad Patton. Move Blade Witt up into 2nd position. So now Patton's got to chase down 2 trucks here at Dover before the night is over with. Rob Ackley in the 19 showing his stuff back here, moving himself forward. Ackley, who started in the top 5, is still in the top 5. I'll tell you what, quietly staying in the top 5. Not a lot of noise coming out of that 19 machine. TJ Thompson. TJ started way back in 14th, about the middle of the pack here tonight. Has worked himself all the way up into a top 10, sitting in 6th position here, trying to run down these guys out in front. Michael Duell, who was the hopeful for tonight, the 88 machine. That's your leader coming into Dover here tonight, up a position for a.
Christopher Sheila just got on the wall a little bit. Oh man, and Rob Ackley then almost got into him. I know he had his sights set on third place there. He was gaining on Rob Patton good, and I think we might have saw a different race here, but he got to the wall just a little bit there, coming off of 3 and 4, and then Rob Ackley just had to just lock it up to stay off of him, but doesn't look like it hurt the car anymore. He reeled them back in, and Christopher Sheila's doing a hell of a job here. Rob Patton looking forward at those two that he's got to get by. He better be careful because Christopher Sheila is not done with him yet, I don't believe.
I'll tell you what, good catch there. These guys, you come off the turn and get into the wall, you're going to naturally get up off the throttle to keep that truck from getting out of shape. And of course, you've got somebody right on the bumper. Well, you know what? You better be paying attention, cowboy. And I'll tell you what, that was a good move. Getting out of the way and not creating what could have been a pretty devastating night for both of those drivers. But in the meantime, Brad Patton trying to now run down Blade Witt up here. Witt took that position away from him here about 4 laps ago. Andrew Fay is still out in front, and he just waving goodbye to everybody. Now has built up almost a 2-second lead. Let's call it 1.8 seconds out in front of Blade Witt. So with 141 books, it's getting right down to the nitty-gritty here at Dover Speedway with Integrity Racing.
Yeah, I still think Brad Patton is got to watch himself because Christopher Sheila is a man on a mission, and I definitely got to give a heads up award to Rob Ackley. You have anybody who wasn't paying attention, and that would have ended catastrophically for him and Christopher Sheila both. But I think Brad Patton has got to watch out for Christopher Sheila. I believe he's going to catch him and do something with him before we're through here. I know we're coming up on 12, 13 to go here. I think he's going to get him.
You bet. And let's take another check on the 13 of Matthew Ride back here. He's way off. He's about 7 seconds back behind there. The 13, remember, it was back on the caution on, I believe, lap 72. He gets stuck on pit road when the caution flag comes out, loses 2 laps. Had to get one back on the lucky dog, and then earn his way up. Still, he's on the lead lap now, but unfortunately he's sitting back there just outside the top 10 in 11th position. The 13 of Matthew
Rob Ackley
Wright
is making a big move going after the 02 car. These guys are side by side here for this whole lap. He wants the 5th place here. He is not done with Christopher Sheila. I might have called that one wrong because the handling on the car, the 02 of Christopher Sheila, clearly has gone away. Rob Ackley is fighting hard. He's cutting under him. These guys are door to door. This is good racing right here. This is what you come. Everybody, look at, we're going by the stands there, and everybody is on the feet. Look at this.
You bet. The 19 looking on the inside of the 02. That's Christopher Sheila up on the outside. You want to stay right down on the bottom. The 19's got the preferred position. Sheila's got some horsepower coming off, though. The 19 is going to give it up here and fall in behind the 02. But I'll tell you what, Rob Ackley putting something together here. Going to regroup and get after it and try it again. 10 laps to go here at Dover Speedway, and here comes TJ Thompson in the 42, 6th position back here. He's running down the 19 of Rob Ackley. So we've got a 3-way battle here with Sheila, Ackley, and Thompson now. Peter Bennett too far back to be able to do anything up there with these guys, and Blade Witt and Brad Patton duking it out here just in front of these guys. So Sheila, Ackley, and Thompson is one battle. We got Witt and Patton in the other. In the meet.
Not sure. Trying to look at the. I'm too busy being wrapped up here with TJ Thompson, Rob Ackley, and Christopher Sheila. That was some of the best racing we've seen all night.
I'm hearing it's the 69 of Bruce Koenig. Going to roll it back here and take a look. And see what happened. A little bit of contact from the 06 machine. That's going to be, I believe that's going to be William Carr back here. He's the last truck on the lead lap. Contact between the two of them. The 69 of Bruce Koenig goes around, and little damage to the 06 as he just kind of spins it out here. No real significant damage, but pretty good hit on the 69 here. Taking a look at it one more time here. They're coming off of turn 2, turn 2. And, always the culprit. The 06 is up on the top side as they come off. They're in good shape coming off, but just a little bit too much horsepower off the 06. He comes down, tries to collect it back to 69, trying to get back in the throttle. He's going to lose it and, make contact with the 06, and around they go. And unfortunately, the 06 or the 69 takes the brunt of the damage with a pretty good hit into the outside wall.
Man, I got to tell you, if you're Andrew Fayesh, this is definitely not what you wanted to see. He had a pretty comfortable margin up there, just running around, doing his thing, doing what he does, go fast, and now we've got an entirely different ball game. We're probably going to go back green with 3 or 4 to go here, which will give us an interesting battle, because all 5 of those trucks in the top 5 there, early on in the green flag run, they have equal speed. It's going to be an interesting for Andrew Fayesh to hold on to that.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, let's say howdy to our sponsor for the Rookie of the Year award here tonight. How about Buck Kicker Gamer 2 sponsoring the Integrity Racing League Rookie of the Year award? The Butt Kicker Gamer 2 lets you feel all the action from your games and simulators, feel the gut-wrenching punch of the machine gun fire, the pounding of the chopper blades, explosions, rumble strips, and a whole lot more. Turn down or turn off your subwoofer, and you can feel all the bass. The movies, the video games, the music, it all comes to life, even using the headphones. Give your game some realism. It's the silent subwoofer that lets you feel the action, feel the explosions. And I'll tell you what, you can get it at thebuttkicker.com. That's Buttkicker Gamer 2 at thebuttkicker.com. Proud sponsors of the Rookie of the Year award here with Integrity Racing. So proud to have those guys along for the ride. In the meantime, Blade Witt showing his strength pretty late in the race. Of course, you never know what's going through these guys' mind as they put their plans together when they come to the track. It could have been in Blade Witt but you know what? I'm just going to kind of lay back here a little bit. He started in 8th position. I'm not going to show my stuff until later on when I have to, and I think that's exactly what he did. He'll start on the front row here with Andrew Fayesh when we pick up the green flag. Now, let's talk about Brad Patton and Christopher Sheila. Are these two done yet? I don't think so. These guys started in a pretty good position up here in front as well. Sheila started on the outside of Matthew Wright, who has since gone backwards. But of course, we talked about that pit stop that sent him a lap or 2 down. So this is going to be a very interesting restart when the pace car pulls off.
Speaking of the whole butt kicker thing, I've been in a lot of sim rig configurations, and when it comes to the butt kicker, that's the only kick in the pants that I've ever enjoyed.
You haven't felt my boot yet. Coming off of turn 2. Pace car leads him down the backstretch here. You can see the 18 warming up those tires. That's Brad Patton looking for a shot at the 77. And I'll tell you what, Patton has probably been the 77, Andrew Fayesh's biggest nemesis here at Dover here tonight. But don't count out that number 9. I'll tell you what, if I was a betting man, I'd probably put a couple of bucks on that number 9. That's Blade Witt up there on the outside. Rob Ackley, who's been strong here in the late runnings as well in the 19. So this is going to be the shootout of all shootouts here with 5 to go, actually 4 to go when we pick up the green flag. And the pace car is off. Keep your eye on Andrew Fayesh here to 77. He slowly brings him off the turn. In the throttle he goes, and he gets away. The 9 on the outside, Brad Witt, he's asleep at the wheel.
Oh, we got a big wreck in the middle of the pack. Big wreck in the middle pack. Top, everybody from 12th on back just piled up into the wall, inside retaining wall.
And it may be over with here. We take a check here and see what happened on this restart. Big wreck happening back. I'm trying to find even somebody that even started it here. There's so many of them involved. I'm hearing the 88. The 88 truck might have been responsible. And taking a second look
looking
at
like
it
the
here,
13 got into the back of the
88,
69.
Yeah, the 88 spun his tires on the restart, gets out of shape, and then I believe it's going to be the 36 of Jacob 5 tries to go to the inside to avoid the 88. Everybody checks up behind the 88. That's going to be Bruce Koenig, Matthew Wright involved, the 53 of James Hudson involved. Wow.
That was big. That was big. We spent some money there.
Absolutely, and this may be the game changer of all game changers. We'll wait until we get the official word, but that may have ended the race here at Dover. We'll have to wait and see what the race officials are going to say about it, but I believe that this is probably going to end the night for these guys. We're sitting with 153 laps on the board, and with 2 laps to go, so I believe it is over. It looks like it is going to be over. Andrew Fash is going to pick up the trophy tonight. Brad Patton will finish second. Blade Whitt, with a strong run tonight, will finish third. And fourth will go to the 0-2 of Christopher Sheila. Rob Ackley will pick up a top 5 tonight. And fifth, and the 42, T.J. Thompson. I'll tell you what, give that cowboy a shout. TJ really working hard the last half of this race. Remember, he started in 14th, put it together the last part of the race, and really brought that 42 machine forward. Peter Bennett, who was strong all night, will finish 7th. 8th will go to Drew Carroll. Finishing 9th tonight will be the 36 of Jacob Fife, who put up a terrific fight up in front. And, of course, rounding out the top 10, Michael Dewell, the hopeful here for Dover here tonight, with a pretty decent run at Michigan, finishing inside the top 10. But Michael Dewell came to Dover, your points leader, I believe it's 4 points out in front of Bad Pat. So that might be a big-time points changing tonight for these guys as Patton finishes ahead of Michael Dewell.
You got to give credit to Andrew Fayesh. He ran a great race. And then even on that last restart there, he did what he needed to do. He brought them all down to a nice pace speed and got a great start. He definitely had the lead that he was going to need to win this thing, as long as everything went the way that it had for the previous 3 or 4 restarts there. So you got to give him a ton of credit. Brad Patton, Blade Whitt, Christopher Sheila, Rob Ackley, the top 5 really put on a great show here in this last half of the race, spiced things up for us. Obviously, it's a big, long race at Dover. The early goings, everyone was conservative, but I'm pretty impressed with the way these boys run and the way they can conduct themselves. It was an enjoyable race from my perspective.
Absolutely, and back here in the back of the pack, Alan Rule, who was involved in that wreck, his motor is smoking up to beat the band here. He'll finish just 1 lap down in the 94 machine back here in the 17th. Unfortunately, Matthew Wright in the 13 truck will finish in 19th position here at Dover. And I'll tell you what, almost a hopeful here. I certainly expected Matthew Wright to hang on to at least the top 5 here at Dover. A terrific driver, and really gets the job done when he's got to get the job done. But unfortunately, with the issues that he had tonight, tough night for that 13 team, but hey, they'll get him next time, I'm sure. As the pace car brings them around for the final time here, we'll give Andrew Fayesh a few minutes to burn whatever might be left on the tires on that 77 truck. And I tell you what, terrific night he had for sure. And,
Yeah,
actually, I'm being told by my producer that we need to plug the HD Radio Network. So here we go, Cowboy. HD Radio Network, the ETV Live Radio. And let me tell you something, stay tuned, because there's a lot of things happening at ETV Live Radio, now called ETV Motorsports Radio. However, they are powered by the HD Radio Network. Gives you a variety of stations to choose from, including Big 80s Metal, all HDR Classic, all HDR Country, and more. Take your pick and rock your brains out, Cowboy. HD Radio Network stations are featured on iTunes Radio, TuneIn Radio, also listed on the Windows Media Guide. Listen today from hdradionetwork.com, or hey, take it with you. Get the mobile app from tunein.com.
Yeah, I was over there today, and there's a lot of music over there that doesn't suck, so I appreciated that. And I got to tell you, JD, I love when you talk about HD radio. Your voice does this, you get this little grr going on there, and your voice takes on a whole new dimension. I love hearing you plug the HD radio network.
Absolutely. Tell you what, we're partnered up with them for life, and a lot of good things happening with the ETV Motorsports Radio. We're going through a little bit of a rebranding here for a little bit, but more on that later. Right now, it's all about Andrew Fish as he puts the throttle down and comes off of turn 4 here. He'll come around the front stretch and show the fans what this place is all about. Andrew Fish celebrating the win here at Dover Speedway as he goes around on the start-finish line here to show the fans. And then he does his proverbial flip, and he'll go backwards now all the way around this track celebrating the win. So as we watch that, let's go ahead and step away. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, the Post Race Show from Dover Speedway, the Monster Mile. Don't wander off. We'll be right back.
It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Drivers, start your engines!
Michael Conti comes up at a corner number 4 to the checkered flag. He wins his first NASCAR race.
Inside SimRacing.tv, the fastest show on the internet. Sim racing news and reviews since 2007, with new shows every week.
And we are back live here at Dover Speedway, the Monster Mile, and it reached out and bit a couple of these guys, but I'll tell you what, it wasn't anywhere in sight. Looking out the windshield of the 77, that's Andrew Fish picking up the trophy tonight. Andrew, I'll tell you what, you had to be on a mission when you came here. You qualified in 4th, but it looks like you took a little bit of an effort in the first part of the race to put it out in front.
Yeah, the first run, Brad had me there. I killed the right front trying to get by a few people, and you know, if you go back and look at it, when Brad was first and I was second and we were spread out on the long run, I couldn't get on the bottom in 3 and 4. I couldn't run the line I like to run. But if you look at that run and then look at the last 2 runs and compare the lines, you'll see the difference. And it was just enough that I couldn't really gain on him, and he was slowly getting away from me. But yeah, luckily I got a caution there to catch us back up and give it a reset.
Now, is this a little bit of redemption coming back from Michigan? Last week you finished in 22nd after starting up inside the top 10. So this had to be a pretty good night for the 77 team for sure, huh?
Well, last week was a special case. I was on vacation, borrowing somebody's laptop on wireless internet with a backup steering wheel. And I qualified 7th, and I'm like, okay, well, I could run all right. And then as soon as we started the race and all the trucks were on the track, the computer couldn't handle it, and I got sent to the back and was just trying to ride around, and I literally was just trying to finish the race, and I tried fixing my connection mid-race, lost a lap doing that, and you know, I could battle people. Like I felt quick enough to race with people, but my connection was too unstable to really do anything, and I didn't want to wreck anybody. So last week I wouldn't consider a race. That was just riding around. But yeah, it is a bit of redemption. It's nice to be back into a comfortable situation here.
just riding around. Since when does a 77 truck or car just ride around anywhere? But I'll tell you what, Andrew, good job here tonight, and tough fight there getting that 77 out in front. Who makes it happen for you, partner?
And I just want to thank my teammates at Galaxy Motorsports, and you guys for putting this on the broadcast and all that, and Jacob and Duel for hosting the league, and all the guys for showing up. We had almost twice the turnout as last Dover race here, so it was nice to see a lot more people and a lot more competition. Brad and Christopher Schella both were tough to beat today, but luckily things worked out for me.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, good run with the 77, picking up the trophy. I'm going to throw it on down pit road. I believe our second place finisher, Brad Patton, is standing by with Eddie Walzik.
Yep, I got Brad right here, and one of the things we were just talking about, Brad definitely had a dominant truck. Brad, you took over the lead from Matthew right there from around lap 20, and if I remember correctly, you led us right about to after the caution there, but you got cycled. You kind of got caught on the high side, and those guys kind of freight trained you. Blade and Andrew Fayes come by you there. Take me through that pass there, because it seemed from that point forward, about lap 80, you were fighting for, you got cycled back to 6th. Taking me through that, how those guys got underneath you and got around you.
I was just pretty much overdriving the car, like Andrew said. If you're not hitting the right line, you're not going to go forward, and I just kept going backwards. And it was once you get behind somebody, it was really hard to actually get a run on them when they're running the same speed as you. The first run that we had was good because they were all fighting, and I was able to pull away. And then I got caught in lap traffic, and Andrew was able to catch up a little bit there, and we were steady about even. And then the caution came out, and that's where my race took a turn for the worse for me.
Yeah, but we got to give you credit. You got to feel pretty good about a second place finish after battling back there. Tell me how you feel about doing all that work, in the later stages of that race, staying, dodging one or two wrecks there. It got a little dicey, and then you and Blade, I think, were just duking it out there, the tail end, trying to fight for second. Then you end up with that second place finish. You got to feel pretty good about that.
Definitely. I definitely feel good about running, finishing second here. This is I think is one of my worst tracks, and I don't really like the surface too much because the truck slides a lot more than I like, and I'm a tight setup kind of racer. So after it got loose and everything like that, it was just, I was hanging on for dear life when I was in traffic. But yeah, Blade was giving me a respectable amount of room and everything. I mean, there were some times where we were pushing it a little bit too hard, I thought, but come out second place here, I'm pretty happy.
Well, you did a hell of a job, and for this to be a track you're unhappy with, for at least a third of the race, you had the dominant car. I would have liked to seen that go green there for the end, but the caution was unfortunate. I'd like to see you guys race it out. Obviously, Andrew got the start that he needed, so you guys had trouble catching up, but congratulations on the second place finish. You did a hell of a job, put on a great show. That last third was some of the best racing we've seen between you and Blade. And speaking of Blade, I think JD has found his way over to Blade, and I'm going to throw it back to him.
You bet, but tell you what, not before Brad Patton has an opportunity to thank whoever it was to help them get there. Brad, go ahead and take the mic, bud. Oh, I guess he already set the mic down. But anyway, hey, I'm standing down here with Blade Witt. And I'll tell you what, one last deal about Brad Patton. If Dover was his worst nemesis on the 405 is a dream for me at 5 o'clock. But I'll tell you what, Blade Witt, you started out here tonight in, I believe you qualified in 8th position, almost a little over 2/10 off of Matthew Wright on the pole here tonight. But you put forth a heck of an effort, Cowboy. Talk about your race.
I felt like I was a little bit struggling in the early stages of the race, but I have to thank Drew Carroll for helping me figure out the line throughout the stages, and then it just made forward progress from there.
Yeah, I hear you there, Blade. And I'll tell you what, looked like a pretty tough night tonight, but you managed to, pretty much stay up there in the front with these guys up in top 10 and duke it out with these guys. I mean, you got a pretty tough crowd up there. Jacob Pfeiffer in the 36 machine, Rob Ackley with the 19 coming on strong. All these guys up here. Brad Patton, duking it out back and forth up there. Did you come to the race with any kind of a strategy?
My strategy was expecting just good long green flag runs with competitive racing throughout the whole thing. So as long as I gave respectful room and just tried to keep that steady progress going forward, I felt like I was gonna succeed, and I kind of did. I guess.
And of course, the question that everybody's asking me right now, Blade, how old are you?
13.
Getting the job done. I'll tell you what, 13 years old with a fantastic run here at Dover. Blade finishing third here tonight behind Brad Patton, Andrew Fish. Who makes it happen for the 9 team, Cowboy?
I'd like to thank all of my DRC teammates, TJ Thompson, Christopher Shella, and Drew Carroll. They really helped me out and everything. We really good team.
Outstanding. Congratulations on a solid third place run. You know what? We threw the mic down a little bit too quick. We did not give Brad Patton an opportunity to thank his sponsors. So, Brad.
Yeah, that's my fault. I prematurely ejected there, so I pulled him back in the booth, and he's got some special things to say.
Oh yeah, I'd like to thank IRL for hosting. Okay, you gotta thank IRL for hosting the league. Got to thank you guys, for doing the broadcast. It's always fun to be on live internet and people getting to watch. Thanks for the fans and family that are out there, and got to say a special occasion today is my little sisters, my twin sisters, Jessica and Brianna. It's their 16th birthday, so happy sweet 16.
Absolutely. Yeah, happy Sweet 16. And I'll tell you what a terrific night here at Dover, the Monster Mile. This track usually sneaks up and bites a few people. It did tonight, but not before we had some solid long green flag runs here. And I'll tell you, this is one of the top 5 here on ETV Live for sure. And of course, Eddie along for the ride. Eric Crossan in the booth with us as well. Eddie, tonight's race, Dover, it's a 1-mile track. This is a tough track. If you ask, 10 drivers, 9 of them are going to tell you they hate the place.
Yeah, they don't call it the Monster Mile for nothing. This track is definitely a handful. The real one, the virtual one, the racing here is always close, and you lose a handle here, you're probably not going to get it back. This track does not give back pieces in straight working conditions. So these guys did a hell of a job. They did a really good race, and I appreciate my time in the booth, and thanks for having me.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, next week, Integrity Racing, they're going to be at Stafford Motor Speedway. It'll be the full course for 200 laps. So you got to tune in for that one. It'll be right here live on ETV Live, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you know where the place is, etv-eplay.net. I'd like to thank Laura Lawson for pushing all the buttons on the cameras for us tonight down in the trailer. We're going to go down and join her, grab a cold one out of the cooler. So, hey, good racing tonight at Dover. We'll see you next time on ETV Live.
Join 5,000 plus other listeners where you could hear everything from big 80s metal to classic rock and roll, country radio, ETV Live Sports Radio, even adult and unplugged rock and roll. HDRadioNetwork.com, one of the fastest growing internet radio networks, HDRadioNetwork.com. Take it with you, cowboy. Get the mobile app for Android, iPhone, iPad, and all the rest from TuneIn.com.